Relieve, Respond, Revive. WSFL-TV presents The Rebound, South Florida.
She's not getting the education that she's entitled to and the education that she needs.
A very real struggle for parents of kids with disabilities. The battle they're fighting to bring back what their children lost with the pandemic.
It's important that Black businesses are supported if we're going to build generational wealth.
Hundreds of thousands of Florida businesses receive federal loans to survive and rebound. But what about minority-owned businesses? What advocates are pushing for, especially if more help is needed. And making ends meet includes finding great deals. The savings you can cash in on during the month of September. The Rebound South Florida starts right now.
Tonight, the parents of Florida students with special needs are already losing hope, and the school year has just started. I explain why and who some advocates are blaming.
I'm a mom of 3 kids.
My youngest is 5 years old. We call him Rebound.
They are parents of kids with disabilities.
He has been diagnosed with severe nonverbal autism.
2 sons that are on the autism spectrum.
I have a 13-year-old daughter. She is medically fragile and she also is intellectually disabled.
Now speaking out about their ongoing battle to bring back what their children lost with the pandemic.
I saw the regression happening before my eyes.
Skills that he was able to do, he is not doing anymore.
She's 13 and she's reading on a kindergarten level.
Luz Oquendo's daughter Cheyenne has a genetic disorder.
Hello.
Brick and mortar is too risky.
Are you happy to be back in school?
Yes.
But just 3 weeks into the year, distance learning remains too much for one mom to handle.
We're talking about a child that requires a one-on-one nursing support, one-on-one paraprofessional. She requires occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy. I can't do it alone.
These children are among Florida's nearly 415,000 publicly educated students with individualized education plans. All have special needs and qualify for extra support. But since the pandemic, many parents say they felt abandoned and still do.
She's not getting the education that she's entitled to and the education that she needs.
I'm very concerned.
Alicia Tremblay's kids are back on campus this week.
There's no extra academic time that these children are going to learn what they missed the last 9 weeks in 2nd grade.
Tiffany Cox's son also returned this week.
There's no plan. I haven't heard of a plan to help these kids.
We need to have a statewide plan for how these losses are going to be regained.
Katie Kelly is a children's rights attorney in Central Florida. She says special education departments are notoriously plagued with lack of resources, staff, and guidance, especially, she says, from the state.
They are kind of radio silent on how districts are supposed to make up these learning gaps.
The result, she expects, more lawsuits.
School districts council have told me, they said, oh, it's coming. I mean, there are waves of this coming.
While it's unknown how courts will perceive breaches in education plans born out of a pandemic, for some parents, it feels like their only option.
If they're not going to support me, then my only other option is to file a lawsuit.
Seeing some of the gains their children made now gone.
Bye.
And the plan to get it back remains so unclear.
We need our stakeholders to come together to support these school districts, to support these teachers, to tell them how to make this up. Because to leave them out there with this huge burden by themselves is just unconscionable. It's unconscionable.
And while most districts provide general guidelines and reopening plans, we asked the state for its guidelines but have yet to hear anything back. Katie LeGrone, WSFL TV.
Nearly 1 in 6 seniors in America faces the threat of hunger or malnourishment. In South Florida, thousands are struggling, especially now. But with the help of nonprofits like Meals on Wheels, hundreds of seniors are getting the food they need.
When 68-year-old James Turnquest got the call from Meals on Wheels saying he was off the waiting list for food, he was extremely grateful.
I felt real great, real good about it, because I needed them a lot, I needed them real bad.
According to Mark Adler, the executive director of Meals on Wheels, there's thousands of seniors in South Florida that want one more meal a day, but can't have it. There's not enough money, so they're on a waiting list for Meals on Wheels.
Demand for home-delivered meals, especially now, is at an all-time high. And it just, with thousands of people turning 60 years old plus, and with funding being relatively flat, and the demand increasing so exponentially, the waiting list is I don't think ever going to go away.
But with the help of the Area Agency on Aging and Broward County through the CARES Act, they were able to take 300 people off that waiting list.
We're helping people to stay safe and healthy, and to help them so that they don't get COVID-19. And that's a really big deal. And the food is really good and they enjoy it. And it's just nice to be able to help them.
This funding couldn't have come at a better time. It's heart-wrenching to have to prioritize who's the most in need when it comes to hunger. I mean, when you're hungry, you're hungry. So this funding is allowing us to serve the most at-risk, frail, needy of the seniors on our waiting list.
James lives alone, so getting these meals are crucial.
I really need the meals in times such as this, you know, and it helps me a lot to be able to receive these meals because I've been able to get meals on my own.
Here at WSFL TV, we're challenging our communities to step up and fight hunger among the most needy. If you'd like to contribute to Meals on Wheels South Florida, there's a link at the top of our website. Just go to WSFLTV.com.
We want to help South Floridians get back to work. If you or someone you know is a hairstylist, the Hair Cuttery is hiring. What you need to know next.
I'm Forrest Saunders at the Capitol. When it comes to federal paycheck protection loans, we really don't know how many of Florida's minority-owned businesses receive them. The limited data available suggests a disparity, but experts say had officials asked one specific question, what's your race, we'd have a much better picture. Recently, we showed you a big disparity among Florida businesses getting PPP loans. Records showing most of the state's $32 billion going to whites, about 67%. Black owners only securing around 4%, frustrating for minority business advocates.
It's important that Black businesses are supported if we're going to build generational wealth.
Beatrice Lewis-Saint heads Florida State Minority Supplier Development Council, worried too many minorities were left out.
This pandemic has really exacerbated the racial inequality and the economic inequality in our country and in our state.
While the limited PPP info adds credence to her concerns, the data could have been much clearer if the Small Business Administration had required race on loan applications. Without it, only about 6% of Floridians included it.
It was possible some banks did do it, but most banks didn't add that in to the PP loans. They were all scrambling to understand and collect.
That's Diedrich Asante Muhammad with the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. The nonprofit recently called the PPP data mostly worthless due to its lack of demographic info.
We're not able to see if this is an effective response for particular communities.
Diedrich says having a race question would have given researchers a better idea of which businesses were hit the hardest and increased accountability, ensuring minority owners secured loans equitably.
Worse than it being frustrating is it could be fatal. We don't have a clear analysis of how well we're serving them, and we have to kind of start from scratch to get a better understanding. By the time we figure this out, you know, small businesses usually can't close for more than a few months before these closures become permanent.
The SBA has acknowledged on its website about 75% of borrowers nationally didn't list race. In a statement, officials say they're working to collect more demographic info, but didn't say exactly how. We asked officials why they didn't include the race question and whether they would in any future aid programs. In response, we got this, which is the exact same statement you can find online, saying that they're working on gathering that demographic data. That's the latest out here at the Capitol. I'm Forrest Saunders reporting.
We know many of you have lost your jobs because of the coronavirus pandemic, and we want to help by connecting you with available jobs in South Florida. This week, we want to tell you about a nationwide company that's hiring hundreds of people.
I was just eager to start and really get back to work.
Olga Fields lost her job in March. She worked in retail for years. After 2 months of being furloughed, she was hired at Hair Cuttery as a district leader.
I run 13 salons all the way from Homestead to Aventura. And my job is really to go inspire, motivate, run the business and see how we're doing. And look for great people, talent scout for sure.
The full-service hair salon has 75 locations in South Florida, and they're hiring over 1,000 people. Requirements include experience in the hairstyling industry.
We're looking for talented stylists people who are passionate about their craft. And as you know, all of our stylists are licensed cosmetologists with the state. So anybody who would be applying to work at Hair Cuttery is already licensed and they're already a professional.
The company launched Curbside Cuts, available at their Aventura location for clients who aren't comfortable sitting inside the store, even though social distancing and safety guidelines are in place.
Why don't we bring some chairs outside of the salon and we put up some tents. As you know, Florida can get a little hot. And this way people can sit in the chair outside under the tent and be able to get their service in the open air. Being in the open air, I think, gives some of our customers some extra comfort, and we want to do anything we can for that.
For Olga, she says she's already found her place in the company after just a couple of months.
Gratitude comes first. I'm grateful. I'm beyond grateful. Two, it means a sense of security, knowing that I have an income. And three, the ability to do what I love to do best, and that's to create lifelong experiences with my salon professionals.
Seth says to avoid crowded salons, they're only allowing appointments at all of their locations. To learn more and to apply, head to WSFLTV.com and click the Rebound. Melissa Marrero, WSFL TV.
Here's what's next on the Rebound South Florida. Keeping customers safe. The extra steps some Florida restaurants are taking as they serve you food during this pandemic. And how you'll know which businesses are getting that additional training.
It costs a lot of money to go to the grocery store to buy stuff. Because I spend like an average $200 like per week.
The new school year is a big change for families across South Florida. How one local district is stepping in to make sure students get the meals they need. Getting through this with stories to help get back on track as we rebound in South Florida.
It's been 3 weeks since Broward County Public Schools started e-learning, and the county's doing everything they can to make sure every student gets a nutritious meal at least twice a week. Parents and grandparents in Broward County lined up at Lake Forest Elementary in Pembroke Park to get food for their kids.
It helped me for the food, good food for the children. It costs a lot of money to go to the grocery store to buy stuff. Because I spend like an average $200 like per week.
Broward County Public Schools is providing grab-and-go meals twice a week for students enrolled at all elementary, middle, and high schools in the county. Meals are provided in bundles.
Meal bundles are the same meals that our students would enjoy in the regular, traditional, cafeteria type line. So it's all of their fan favorites still that we've been able to move to make them as a grab-and-go style. So the way that we do that is we do offer everything cold. That way it can be reheated when you intend to eat it, so it helps to preserve that quality.
Zoe Crego, registered dietitian for Broward County Public Schools, says they've served over 2.6 million meals since March.
My husband lost his job. He was working at Turnberry House, and he lost his job when the pandemic hit. So extra money, we're kind of tight right now, so this kind of helps a lot.
Families they're facing hard times with COVID closures. People have lost jobs. We know that for some children, these meals are the only nutritious meals they're receiving during the day. So in Broward County, over 64% of our students qualify for free or reduced price meals, which means that 64% of our students face some degree of food insecurity every day.
Zoe says families can pick up their meals at a Broward campus, but encourages them to visit their registered schools.
Even though we're not learning face-to-face, we do still hope that we see all of our students here to pick up meals at their favorite school, say hello to their favorite lunch lady, so we can continue to help provide nutritious meals and support student academic achievement.
The grab-and-go meal distribution will take place every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Because of this pandemic, people across the state of Florida are still worried and concerned about going to a restaurant and having a meal. That's why restaurant owners are trying to earn back customers' trust. That's why some are opting into a new Seal of Commitment enhanced COVID-19 safety program.
They put out this program and I saw it and I said, hey, this looks like a good thing.
Peter Pergola was sailing towards retirement, then COVID-19 happened.
I expected this to be my banner year, based on January and February, and then March happened. When we opened up May 5th, it was like starting a brand new restaurant all over again. I'm too old for that.
Serving food in a post-COVID world now comes with new rules and new challenges with life or death consequences. The Seal of Commitment Award displayed on the front door tells patrons his staff received extra training for COVID-19 sanitization and best practices.
Our staff are wearing gloves all the time. They're wearing masks all the time in the kitchen as well as up front. They're changing their gloves. We're disinfecting and sanitizing all the tables as people get up, and then we spray the Lysol disinfectant in the area just as an extra precaution, and the people see that.
They raise their hand and they take on a higher level of scrutiny and commit to a higher level of safety for their guests.
Jeff Lubkeman is the senior vice president of the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. He says East Lake Cafe is one of more than a dozen restaurants in the Bay Area to sign up and earn the seal. What do you do to hold restaurants accountable once they get this to make sure that they continue following the rules?
With ours, we actually go out and check. We haven't had anybody break the rules yet, and I'm hoping we won't.
I mean, you didn't have to get the certificate.
I did not.
With 18 employees and his retirement hanging in the balance, Pergola knows the stakes are high.
I'm responsible for that. If we don't comply with things, and God forbid that we get shut down again.
And we're here probably a couple of times a week.
But regulars are coming back and noticing the changes.
I don't know who he paid off, but that was terrific. No, I mean, it's, you know something, it's well deserved.
Michael Paluska, WSFL TV.
Making ends meet includes finding great deals. Next on the Rebound South Florida, what to buy in the month of September that won't break the bank.
As part of our commitment to helping South Florida rebound, we want to help you make ends meet. Consumer experts say September is a great month for finding deals.
We're transitioning from the summer to that upcoming holiday season.
The transition logic explains why it's a great time to buy summer stuff.
You still want some warm weather clothing, and there's still weeks to wear it. This is a great time to buy short sleeve shirts, shorts, any warm weather clothing.
Now is a good time to also buy outdoor stuff. Stores are clearing out their patio department to make room for the Christmas department.
Grills, patio sets, fire pits, anything for the backyard will be on sale.
Next, what about cars?
September is a great time to buy a car because at this point they're selling 2021s. However, many of them still have 2020 models on their lot. They are slashing prices, giving all sorts of rebates on the 2020 models. You can get an incredible deal on a 2020 new car, truck, or SUV.
And let's not forget Labor Day sales.
On Labor Day, you're going to find a lot of furniture on sale, mattresses on sale. Those are the biggies. But also, if you need a new refrigerator or microwave, you'll find appliances on sale as well.
There are so many reasons to love South Florida, from the awesome culture to the gorgeous scenery. Every week, we want to hear what you love about the community you live in. Tonight, we leave you with Vizlebi Diaz in Coral Gables.
I've lived all over Miami, but I have probably lived here for about 10 collective years. This has to be probably one of the quietest neighborhoods that I've lived at. You go down Coral Way, you have coffee shops, you have bars, you have restaurants, and then also the beautiful trees. You know, when I was 8 years old and we used to drive by there, and now I was driving back yesterday and I was like, wow, these are so pretty. Like, I hope that they stay. I see the families out, and that's what I like. If they were looking for a neighborhood like that where they, you know, would want to start their family, this is perfect.